Hello and welcome to the Gifford Gym, where the anticipated rematch of Wayne Hills and Clifton will take place shortly. Dan, can you tell us what happened in that first classic match?
That was for the Passaic County semifinals. The two teams met and got to game 3. Wayne Hills losing the first, coming back to win the second strong. And the third game just battled back and forth until a 17-15 finish with the Mustangs out on top. And I believe the Mustangs went on in that tournament to win, beating Lakeland later on in the course of the week. So, Mike, what are your predictions for tonight's game?
Well, I like Wayne Hills to bounce back from that tough loss they had against Clifton with a huge win in today's game. I think this is their last game of the regular season. They might have one more left, but Clifton, if they can win today, they'd set a record in the state for most wins in a season with 32. Right now, Clifton's 31-1. I think they're ranked first in the state, looking for a number 1 seed in the state tournament. So this is a big game for both teams. Wayne Hills looking to get a nice seed in the state tournament. They're 20-4. So both teams outstanding, and they played classic match in the first match of the season.
Some key players in tonight's game for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Number 23, junior Jay Sawicki. Jay is one of the overall best players on the team, followed by the other half of the dynamic duo, number 5, Ziggy Gorin, senior, also a just dominating striker. Also good for the team, Eric Reeser, setter Adam Tett. And the whole team is just all around just very solid. Mike, can you tell us about some good players for the Clifton Mustangs?
Last game we had, Dennis Haverlia came up huge for Clifton, tipping it over several times, faking out the Wayne Hills defense that was at the net looking for the block. And obviously Robert Taney, number 13, he just gets so high in the air, kind of like Sawicki, and he throws it down with authority. So I look for those players to come up with huge games in today's matchup.
Well, with 35 seconds reading on the clock, the game should be underway any second now. Both teams practicing their sets to each other. Now, Mike, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Other sports around the town, Wayne Hills in the state semifinals. We were playing Friday against Cliffside Park. They successfully won their game yesterday, 4-2 for baseball. That team is also led by David Damo, who's still 500. Oh, Mike, I just remembered, last game, the officials had some tough calls. Do you think that'll happen in tonight's game?
I'm sure they'll bounce back nicely. And they should be making the calls. Don't see why they wouldn't be. Talking about the baseball team, they've had some tough losses in the past couple of weeks to Ramapo, Indian Hills, and a few other teams. Fairlawn, I believe they lost to, or West Milford, I know they lost this weekend in the county tournament. And Wayne Hills, if they can win against Cliffside Park, it could be a huge win for them. Move on to the state semis against Ramapo. You know, big rivals in every sport. Wayne Hills had a big win yesterday against Northern Valley of Oltapan, which had a better record than Wayne Hills. So huge win yesterday for Wayne Hills. They could bounce back and have a good team. What do you think, Dan?
Definitely, they should have a very solid team. Next year should be a very good year. A lot of people returning from the varsity team. Very strong pitching staff, good catcher, very, very strong outfield. Should be interesting to watch next year. Hope you can come out to the game. The Mustangs break from their huddle. They will go under the net for the traditional handshake. Wayne Hill's still in their huddle, talking to Coach Bill Eustace. As they separate, each team goes to their individual huddle.
Let's go, Jay.
And any second, the game shall be underway.
Injury update for Wayne Hills. Mike Golub will not play in today's game. He's sitting next to Coach Eustace on the Wayne Hills bench. So that could be a costly loss for Wayne Hills. He was an important player in the last matchup. Came in, made a couple nice plays for Wayne Hills.
So the Mustangs will be serving first. Number 1, Christian Sadeo, waiting for the whistle. The officials checking in with each other, making sure, giving the final rules to the teams. Every team agreeing. Out there for the Wayne Hills Patriots, we have Jay Sawicki, Ziggy Gorin, Eric Reeser, a very quality junior. Adam Tett, very good setter. And Mike, would you take us through the Mustangs?
Okay. Setting right now, as Dan said before, Christian Scillieri. 13, Robert Tanny, aforementioned Robert Tanny, and number 12, Dennis Haverliak, number 3, Matt Seitz. And we're underway as Tet gets it to Rieser, and Wayne Hills will take over on the block, or missed block right there from the Mustangs. Let's go through the rest of the lineup. Number 4, Ryan Scarpa. Number 10, Mike Genchi, and I believe that's it for the Clifton Mustangs. So Wayne Hills gets the first point in today's matchup. What I've noticed today is that there's no longer 4 officials on the court. There's only 2.
Eric Rieser serves it over. Deep big into the net, and Clifton can't recover, and the ball carries out of bounds. Wayne Hills scores their second point. Eric Rieser on a roll here, hoping to increase the lead to 3-0.
Seitz sets it over to Rieser. Rieser saves it to Sawicki. Sawicki over the net. Seitz returns it, and Ramirez is out of position on the play, so the Mustangs will take over.
Coach Eustace not happy with that last exchange, calling out plays. Number 12 now, Dennis Haverliak back to serve. A jumping serve, only few people on this team use. And the ball carries out, just a little bit too much power. Jay Sawicki, also another jump server, is lining up. So Jay now pacing, waiting for the whistles. Here's it from the official. The shot goes up, just carries over. Nice shot by Sadeo. Hit by number 10. Haverliak light tap over. Sawicki, confused with Rieser off the roof. Sawicki just taps it over. Sadeo again. Bumping up, and a hard spike by Tanny. As we said before, Tanny's going to be one of the key scorers for this Mustangs, just driving it past the Wayne Hills defense. So the Mustangs fans, as you saw in the previous game, cheering after every point. Number 11 now, Richard Cocken. Back to serve. Carries over. Ziggy digs it out. Tet sets. Hard spike into there, but is blocked by the Mustangs. Ziggy Gordon is rejected, and it falls over for the Mustangs' point.
Rieser had some words for number 11, Chris Google, on the play, saying that that's not your job to set it to Ziggy, or whatever he did wrong. Tet over to Sawicki. Haverliak saves it to Kochin, back to Haverliak. Rieser tries to set it. Tet, nice save. And Google hits it over. Sidiao over to Cocken. And Ziggy blocks it on the play. Nice block right there, but it goes out of bounds, so the Mustangs will take their first point of the game.
It was their second point there, Mike. Mustangs send it over. Scooped out by Eric Rieser. Tet lifts one high. Ziggy drills one over, but too hard. Carries out of bounds, and the Mustangs are now taking the lead 3-2. As you remember, in the first time these two teams met, the score did go back and forth several times. So, you can't really count any team out. Ziggy digs it out. Tet up. Sawicki. Light spike. And nobody in wrong positioning on the Mustangs, and it goes over to Wayne Hill's ball.
Now, earlier this week, Ziggy Gorin became the 3rd player in state history to have 1,000 kills for his career. Pretty impressive numbers from Ziggy. So Tanny going to go for the spike. Unnie taps it over. Rieser's there. Tet over to Ziggy. Ziggy gets blocked at the net by Tanny. And the ball will go back to the Mustangs.
Serving now is number 3, Matt Seitz. Matt Seitz, another star player of last game. Seitz scored 8 or 9 points in each game by that very deceiving tap, lining up for that hard spike and just tapping over the defenders. I mean, it got Wayne Hills numerous times. Sends one over. Sawicki bumps it off the elbows. Ziggy, hard hit. Tanny there to block him. And the Mustangs get the ball back.
So the Mustangs now have a 4-2 lead. And Ziggy's gotten blocked several times early on in today's game. So Seitz sends it over to Rieser. Over to Tet. Back to Ziggy. And it's blocked once again at the net by Tanny. This is unbelievable. Tanny combining with number 6, Andrew Egan on the play. So scores now 5-2. 5 consecutive points scored by the Mustangs. Seats sends it over to Swicky. Back to Tet. This time he's going to go for... Oh, nice dig there by Cocken. Oh, Reeser couldn't quite get to it with his foot, so 6 straight points by the Mustangs.
As you saw, the Mustangs did that very, very decisive tap over the defenders. Eustace is going to have to call timeout with the Wayne Hills Patriots, and the Mustangs are fired up now.
So Coach Eustace giving out the instructions to his team. Clifton has gained a ton of momentum right now by scoring 6 consecutive points. Wayne Hills cannot allow Clifton to pull away early on in this first game. So 23 seconds left to go in the timeout, and they'll just start play. Reeser to Tet, and Tet hits it over. Sawicki, miscommunication on the play, and the Mustangs will take over again with 7-2 lead.
The Mustangs are on a 7-0 run here. As you saw, as the Wayne Hills Patriots, Eric Reeser and Jay Sawicki both looking at each other as the ball drops in. Eric bumps it up. Tet another bump. Jay hard spike off the hands, and it shall carry out of bounds on the Wayne Hills side. Wayne Hills trying to end the streak here. Going back, number 14, Ziggy Gorin. Ziggy hardliner over. Seats just gets to it. Haverly hits it over, and it carries out a Wayne Hills point. The score is now 7-3 Clifton Mustangs.
So Ziggy serve once again for the Patriots. Seats digs it out to Cocken. Over to Tanny. And it gets blocked, but it lands on Wayne Hills' side, so it'll be a point for the Mustangs.
Freshman Nick Worsley and senior Adam Tet just couldn't get enough on Tanny's hard spike. And the ball drops in for serving now is Dave Barron. Light tap over. Chase Wiki hitting it up. Tet setting up Reeser. Reeser lifts one over. Shot goes up and it can't be blocked, and it bounces around and drops in. And it seems that Nick Worsley went underneath the net. So you know what? It's one of the rules here in volleyball. You're not allowed to go under or hit the net. So Dave Barron will serve again.
Barron sends it over to Sawicki. Tet sets it to Reeser. And Wayne Hills will take it over. Reeser had a huge third game when these two teams previously met. Just took over for Wayne Hills, kept them in the game, almost won it for the Patriots. And Reeser coming up huge again this first game. He's become the vocal leader of this team. So Cocken over to number 10, Genchi. Tet sending it to Reeser again. And that'll be a point for Wayne Hills as Dave Barron tipped it. So Reeser with his second kill in a row.
Reeser showing why he's one of the key players for this Wayne Hills team. Not the tallest or not the strongest, but he puts forth a good effort and just tries to make every play count. Ramiz back, sends one over. Sets up Haverleek, and it is off the net, and it will go to Clifton because I believe Jay Swick either hit the net or went under. Couldn't tell which behind the judge. And the score is now 8-4 Clifton Mustangs. Number 10 for the Mustangs, sending it over. Ziggy bumps it up. Tet there. Oh, the decisive tap, and it falls over. Eric Reeser throwing a great fake. Previously doing 2 hard kill shots and then just tapping one over the defenders. Back now to serve is Adam Tet. Checking in now is number 11, Chris Google. Tet sends one over. Seats hits it up. Haverly, hard spike. Ramiz is there, sends one over. Oh, and Google with a nice block. Barron on his knees blocks it. The exchange goes again. Jay there. Tet with the set. And Eric Reeser, hard spike. The fourth time that boy has scored.
So Eric Reeser, huge factor once again in today's matchup. 4 points in a row for Wayne Hills. So Wayne Hills cuts the lead to 3, 8-5 right now is the score. Ted will serve for the Patriots. Seats over to Genchi, back to Haverliek. He spikes it, Sawicki blocks it, and number 6 sends it out of bounds. Andrew Egan. So the Patriots cut the lead to 2.
Tet again back to serve. The Mustangs are set, waiting for it. Bumped up. Oh, and it hits off the hand, carries out of bounds. And that is the first ace of today's game by Adam Tet. And they've closed the lead to 1. Tet hitting over again. Good hit that time. Bumps up. Haverliek. Light tap. Tet is there. Whistle blown. And it goes over to the Wayne Hills side. So a dead ball called, and Wayne Hills, I believe, scoring another point. And the game is all tied. Dave Barron returns the bump, and nobody can get to it. Nobody could get to it after nice diving plays. And now the Mustangs have to call timeout as Wayne Hills regains the lead 9-8.
On that last play, number 6, Andrew Egan, was not paying attention. The ball might not have been purposely hit to him, but he was not paying attention on the play, had his back towards the ball, and the ball landed right next to him. So costly errors right now for the Mustangs has allowed Wayne Hills to take an early 9-8 lead. So Wayne Hills coming back very strong right now. 5 points in a row for the Patriots.
Tet still on the serve. Sends it over. Seats hits it up. Sets up Haverliek. Hard spike. Ramiz is there. Tet bumping it up. Ziggy with a line drive. Seats is there again. Haverliek trying to try again, and it's off the net. And, oh, they can't play it. Google, illegal hit. Didn't think the ball was going to go over. Wasn't ready for it. And it goes over now to the Mustang side.
So Coach Eustace right there was yelling at Dewey, a.k.a. Chris Google, to set the ball instead of try to bump it from that position. So Sawicki going for the spike, and it lands perfectly in the corner. Sawicki kind of, I don't know what happened. He didn't really play bad. He didn't really play great in that third game, but they really needed him to step up big, and maybe he could do it today. So Seats gets blocked at the net, but he manages to save it. Reeser, nice bump. Sawicki will hit it over. Sawicki, oh, nice play right there from Jay Sawicki.
Sawicki showing why he's one of the overall best players on this team. Bumping it, ready there to just drive down that free ball that was right above the net. Great heads-up play by Jay Sawicki. Eric Reeser lifts one over. Seats setting up. Hard spike. Eric Reeser couldn't get an arm on it. And they're reviewing the play. And it's Mustangs ball.
Yeah, Jay. Let's go, Jay. Let's go, Jay.
Wayne Hills fans trying to tell the officials that the ball did go out. Two officials talking to each other. Seems that Captain Adam Tet there and Captain Matt Seats for Clifton. And it will be, looks to be a redo. So now the score is 10-8. A redo has been called. Eric Reeser now to serve again. Clifton coach is just not happy with that call. Tanny switching out. Dave Barron coming in. I guess the Clifton coach is trying to save some energy of Rob Tanny for the later games. Sends one over. Seats is there. Bump up for Seats. Hard spike, and Ziggy and Jay don't have enough strength on it, and it falls into the Cliftons. So we now Mustang serve. Tanny checking back in. Just needed a quick pick-me-up drink there. Back to serve. Number 12, Haverliek.
I believe Ziggy and Swicky thought that went over onto Clifton's side, that last block. And Ziggy spikes it on the play. Another big play from Ziggy Gorin. So Wayne Hills take over again with 10-8 lead. Swicky will serve. Swicky's serve was a little erratic in the first matchup between these two teams. That topspin spun too early on that one, but you could tell it's got to be difficult for the opposing team to handle. So Rich Cocken will take over for the Mustangs, down 10-8. Ziggy over to Tet. Tet back to Ziggy. It's tipped at the net. Nice save there from Cochin, but the Mustangs can't hit it over, so Wayne Hills will take over once again.
Cochin making a nice diving attempt, getting the bump, but the Mustangs were too close to the net, and the ball got tangled and just drops in. Google now at the serve. Hits one over to Haverliak. Cochin hits it up, and ball carries over and was tipped, supposedly tipped by the front defenders of the Wayne Hills Patriots, and the ball will now still be on the Mustang side. So, first game here between the Clifton Mustangs and Wayne Hills Patriots. Score is 10-8 Wayne Hills. Reeser bumps it up. Tet there. Jay Swicky hard spike, and it carries out. And the Wayne Hills team is not happy with that call. Not happy with that call. Jay Swicky arguing, saying that it was in. And the Mustangs, I believe, have scored their 9th point and cut the lead down to 1. Reeser there. Oh, Tet couldn't get a hold on it. Tet not happy, vocally screaming at Eric Reeser. Eric Reeser didn't get a good enough bump on that, and it sailed over Tet's hands and couldn't set up. Bump goes up. Jay there with the bump. Tet lining up Ziggy. Fires down and is blocked. Ziggy couldn't get a hand on it, and it carries over, and the Mustangs have tied the game at 10 here. See, I told you, Mike, the games just go back and forth. It's very intense.
So the Mustangs have retaken the lead, 11-10 right now. Seats serving. Patriots have had trouble with serve of Seats. Tet over to Warzel. Warzel fires it well long. But they're saying it was tipped at the net, so the Patriots will take over. And the fans on the Mustang side are not happy at all. So Ziggy will serve. Haverliak over to Cocken. To Seats. Oh, no, that was Egan on the play. Egan spikes it home. So the Mustangs will take over. Another back and forth game from these two teams. And Dave Barron's going to serve for the Mustangs. Barron with his knuckleball type of serve. Oh, and once again, Egan over 10, one-on-one. I believe that happened in the earlier matchup between these two teams.
Swicky's bump just carried a little bit too far. Tet wasn't there strong enough to block Egan's hard spike down. Barron lifts one over. Reeser there. Tet hits it up. Oh, Ziggy. Oh, miscommunication with Jay. Ziggy goes too low and couldn't get it. Ziggy and Jay arguing back and forth. And a timeout is called by Wayne Hills as the score is 13-10. Now, as you know, Mike, the teams have to win by 2 here. So if the Wayne Hills could pull back, the games could go past 15.
In that third game these two teams played earlier on, a few weeks ago, the score was 15-15 at one point, so the Mustangs had to pull out big third game win. The score is 17-15. Mustangs had, I'd say, about 10 to 15 chances to put away Wayne Hills before they eventually did. It was an outstanding matchup between two wonderful teams. So Barron served once again for the Mustangs. Barron sends it over to Ziggy, over to Tet. Tet, nice save. It's going to go over the net, though. Nice save there by Swicky. And they're going to call an illegal hit by Nick Warzel. So game point right now for the Mustangs, with Barron serving.
Barron lifts one over. Ziggy there for the bump. Wayne Hill's trying to stop it. Reeser just taps it over. But the defense of the Mustangs is there. Haverleek lined up, a light tap. Tet lines it. Lines over, and it cannot make it. And like in the first matchup, the Mustangs win game 1 here. Wayne Hills now has to win 2 games in a row. They now switch. And we now get ready for the start of game 2.
On that last play, on the game point, Eric Reeser was screaming tip. He saw that coming. Reeser, after the last game, noticed that the Mustangs absolutely crushed them with their tips. And Reeser's trying to display a little bit of his own tips in the first game with, I'd say, about 2 or 3 tips for the Patriots, more than any other player on the team. Reeser is not happy right now. So a short 1-minute break before second game will get started. Or a 3-minute break. So Dan, what have you seen from this first game about, good things and bad things about each team?
Well, to start off with the good things, I mean, both teams are playing aggressive. They want to win. Had a great matchup last time they met. Some bad things are both teams showing miscommunications here and there. As you saw, Ziggy a few plays ago, having a big miscommunication between Jay Sawicki and the ball carried right into the net, and that set up the Clifton Mustangs run for the win. I mean, the teams need to organize themselves and settle and realize that they have to play together. And if they do that, I believe they should pull out game 2 and hopefully game 3.
Now, in order for the Patriots to win, they're going to need their big 4 to come up huge in these second and third games. Big 4 being Eric Reeser, number 82, Ziggy Gore, number 14, Adam Tet, number 8, and Jay Sawicki, number 23. All 4 need to play incredible for the Patriots to have any chance of winning these next 2 games. Patriots took an early 11-9 lead, or 10-8 lead, but the lead just came tumbling down for the Patriots, and the Mustangs scored 7 straight points, and they won the game 15-10. So the Patriots need to find something right now in order to win the second game and stay alive.
So as the Mustangs break from their huddle, Wayne Hills still waiting, talking to assistant coach, Coach Connolly, former basketball coach here at Wayne Hills High School. Now, also, as you saw in last game, a couple controversial plays that you heard not only the team vocalize about, but the fans. Some fans like Mr. Gorin, Ziggy Gorin's dad, and some of the Mustangs fans screaming out that they wanted this and they wanted that, or the ball was in or ball was out, But that happens with every game, especially when there's only 2 officials. I mean, with such a big court, it's very hard to see every little play. Wayne Hills should be joining the court any second now. 45 seconds remaining in between the 2 periods. And we now go back to Mike.
So Dan, in between games, let's talk about what's going on in professional sports. Right now, it's playoff time in the NBA and the NHL, with local team New Jersey Nets being somewhere where they haven't been in the entire history of the team, the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll talk about that more after the second game. So Ted will lead off for the Patriots serving.
Serving now for the Wayne Hills Patriots, senior number 8, Adam Tet. The whistle is blown, and we are underway for game 2. Good bump by Tanny. Light set, hard spike just carries over Ziggy there. Almost hitting the ceiling. Tet getting ready is Reeser, and Reeser using the Mustangs tip, sending it just over that front defender, and it drops in, but past number 10, Michael Genshi. And Wayne Hills out to a 1-0 lead. And Tet hits his second ace of tonight's matchup and increases the lead to 2-0. Mustangs defense lined up, dropping in. Sadeo hits it up. Lined over, Sawicki there. Tet with the bump, and Scillieri with a hard spike. Wait, the whistle is blown. And I'm not sure what the call that was, but it transfers over to the Mustang side.
I think they called a carry on the play, if that's what the call is, because he kind of caught it, didn't really tip it to Scillieri. I believe that's what the call was. So Havlicek will serve for the Mustangs. Nice save right there from Tet. Scillieri, nice job sending it over. Ginchi back to Tanny, and he fires it in. Not sure if it's in or out, what the call is. And they're going to give it to the Patriots, so I guess the call is out of bounds in the play.
As we said earlier in the game, Tanny is the Mustangs' most dominating striker, almost like Zeke Yorn and Jay Scillieri for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Drilling it, but it just went out of bounds. Eric Rieser now serving it, carried cross court, just carried out of bounds, and it's back to the Mustangs' ball. Checking in now, number 11, Richard Cocken. Cocken, as you saw last game, made a diving save, but the Mustangs couldn't pull out. Reeves there with the bump. Tet, light hit, and Google just getting it over. Cocken sets up, and a line drive shot past Eric Rieser and Ziggy Gorin, and it drops in for the Mustangs' first point of the second game.
Wayne Hills needs to find a way to pull away this game because they need to gain some momentum going into the crucial third game if they can pull this game out. So Scillieri fires it in, and Wayne Hills will take over. Deflected and out of bounds. So Scillieri will be rewarded with a serve here. See if Scillieri can get his serve in bounds here. Nice serve right there from Scillieri. Oh, miscommunication again. That would have been over the top in basketball. Ziggy just jumped over Warzel's back and spiked it.
Great save by Chris Sadeo. I mean, doing his part twice, making diving, but just not enough. Scillieri lining his shot. Looks to be getting his serve down. Rips one in there for his first ace. Wayne Hill's third ace of tonight's matchup. He's really getting down with that jump serve. The ball has extra topspin and just carries down. Line drives today, a hard bump, almost hitting the ceiling. Light hit, and Ziggy, not ready, couldn't get a hand on it, and tips it out of bounds. And it transfers over to the Mustang side, and the score is now 4-1 Wayne Hills.
So Gorin, a couple of mental errors early on. Sure, will come up huge later on, and Seats is going to serve for the Mustangs. Gorin over to Tet. Back to Scillieri. Scillieri fires it in, and Havlicek can't handle it, so the Patriots take over. Scillieri coming up huge in the second game. So Chris Google will serve for the Patriots. Google sends it over. Seats to Cocken at the net. Over to Tanny. It's blocked and out of bounds. So the ball will go back to Clifton. Officials will talk it over. And Dave Barron's going to come in to serve for the Mustangs. Barron over to Scillieri. Tet to Gorin. Gorin hits it into the net. Another tough play for the Patriots. And that'll be the second point for the Mustangs. The score is now 4-2 Patriots. Barron serves it over. Ziggy bumps it to Tet. Over to Warzel. And Warzel with a nice play to get the ball back for the Patriots. And Gorin will take over.
Warzel didn't put a lot of effort in that, just enough to get it over the net and score for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Ziggy Gorin now back, lifts one over. Bumped by Dave Barron. The set, hard spike. Ziggy there, falling back. Makes the good play though. Ziggy just tapping over the third time. Cocken hits it up, sets up Havlicek. Jay there with the modified set. Rieser just hitting it over the third time. Seats back to Cocken. Hard hit. Jay there. And a call against the Wayne Hills Patriots, and it will stay on the Mustang side. I think Jay had an illegal hit on that. So now serving for the Mustangs is number 10, Michael Genshi. Genshi lines one over. Jay there. Hits it over, and Genshi can't get a hand on it and sends it across the back wall. And it transfers over to the Wayne Hills possession. Switching out is Nick Warzel. Incoming is Ramiz. Ramiz lines one over. Seats there to bump it up. Genshi hitting it. Hard spike by Haverliak, and it is in just to the back right corner. Very nice, solid spike by Haverliak. One of the star players of last matchup and the earlier game.
So Goran trying to tell Ramiz where to be positioned on that play. Reeser bumps the Tet. Tet over to Sawicki. Sawicki with a nice spike, and Wayne Hills will take over again. Sawicki perfectly aligned on that play, right on the line. And Tet will serve for the Patriots. Google will come in for Weinberg. Seats over to Genshi. City Owl's gonna have to save it. Google, not a nice bump on the play at all. He's got to try to set that to one of his teammates. So costly error for the Patriots. So Dennis Haverliak will serve for the Mustangs. Down 4-2. Sends it over to Ziggy. Tet over to Reeser. And Reeser gets blocked at the net by number 13, Rob Tanny, having a marvelous first two games for the Mustangs. So the score is now 4-3 Patriots. Haverliak will continue to serve.
Rob Tanny showing why he's also a defensive threat on this Clifton Mustang team. Sawicki with the bump. Tet sending it high, and Sawicki hard spike past Tanny, and the ball carries out of bounds. Very hard spike, but a little bit too much as it goes out of bounds, and his Mustangs have tied the game at 4. Haverliak, the jump serve. Sawicki there with the bump. Tet hits one up to Reeser. Reeser, light tap over. Haverliak there. Genshi. Tanny hits up, and Reeser can't get a good arm on it, and the ball carries out of bounds as the Mustangs score their 5th point of today's game and take the lead.
Coach telling Reeser to use 2 hands on the play. So the Mustangs have taken a lead 5-4. Reeser pumps it to Tet. Back to Sawicki. And City out. It's knocked down on the play. Tet over to Sawicki again. Sawicki couldn't get a good handle on it. Genshi over to Seats, and he sends it out. That was definitely out on the play. Officials might have blown a call right now.
Sawicki instantly running over and arguing, saying he didn't touch that hard spike. Hard drive, and it carries out of bounds. Haverliak ends his run. Score is now 6-4 Mustangs. Eric Reeser trying to score some points now. Hard hit over. Haverliak bumps it up to Genshi. Hard spike is blocked, carries over, but Mustangs recover. Genshi hitting up again. Hard spike. And the ball flies out of bounds. Tanny putting a little bit too much strength on. And Eric Reeser scores the 5th point for this Wayne Hills Mustang, for the Wayne Hills Patriots team.
So City out, bumps it over to Genshi. Back to Haverliak. And Ramiz is out of position once again. So the Mustangs will take over, up 6-5.
Mustangs showing great shot placement today, hitting it to where the Wayne Hills Patriots aren't, or forcing them to dive and not make clean shots. Back now is Cocken. Ziggy bumps it up. A hard spike, and the ball carries out. Ziggy not happy with himself on that, knowing he put a little bit too much effort in it as the ball carried out of bounds. And it goes back to the Mustangs' ball. Score's now 7-5 Mustangs. Wayne Hill's trying to regain the lead and close out this game too. Cocken sends one out. Eric Reeser almost not sure of himself so close to just tapping that ball, but Ziggy Gordon telling him to leave it alone as it carries out. Jay Sawicki, one of the top servers for the Patriots, back. Like Dennis Haverleek, using the jump serve. That, too, carries out of bounds, and the ball transfers over to Mustangs' possession.
So just exchanging bad serves right now, going back and forth, and let's see if Seats can send one inbounds. And he does to Reeser. Sends it over to Tet, back to Gorin, and the Patriots take over.
Gorin spiking that hard. Number 6 for the Mustangs. Andrew Egan didn't have enough to block it, and it stayed on the Mustang side. Good bump. Egan there for the spike. Oh, and it's blocked by Tet and Warzel. Tanny blocked again by Warzel. But the Mustangs still recovered, and Warzel couldn't get his hands on that, but Reeser's behind him to recover. Jay Sawicki, hard spike. Cocken not there. Line drive into the net, and it goes to Wayne Hill's ball. Great heads-up play. Nice defense by number 16, the freshman, Nick Warzel. Score is now 7-6. Weinberg, another freshman for this Wayne Hills team. Back to serve. Shot goes up. Cocken hits it. Tanny, a very hard spike, blocked by Warzel and Ziggy Collin, and it goes to Wayne Hills. The game is all tied now, 7-7. Wayne Hills looks to be picking up momentum here in game 2.
So Wayne Hill's managing to tie this game up. Weinberg serving it for the Patriots. Haverliek over to Cocken. And Genshi tries to tip it over. Sawicki going for the spike. And no one's there for the Mustangs, so Wayne Hills take the lead 8-7.
Jay Sawicki, another great spike, showing why he is now one of the best players in the States, voted by all the coaches. Seats bumped it up. Good set. And Egan lines out of bounds. It is still Wayne Hill's possession. And as again, you see the Mustangs not happy with that call. Haverliek arguing with the officials. But it's still Wayne Hill's ball. The official calling over the two captains, Adam Tet and Matt Seats, discussing to their team. Score is now 9-7 Wayne Hills. Wayne Hills possession. I hate these pauses.
So it looks like the point's going to stay for Wayne Hills' point. And the score is now 9-7 with Weinberg serving once again. Seats sends it over to Cocken. And it's blocked by Gorin, but it lands on Wayne Hill's side, so the Mustangs will take over. Dave Barron's going to serve for the Mustangs. Oh, and an ace right there from Dave Barron. Looks like Wayne Hills players are out of position on the play. Barron to Reeser, almost another ace. Nice save by Reeser. Sawicki sends it over, and Wayne Hills will take over, leading 9-8. Sawicki having a nice second game for the Patriots.
Back to serve now, Ziggy Gorin, top senior player for this Wayne Hills Patriots team. Taps one over. Barron there to bump it. And it is blocked, but falls on the Wayne Hills side. Eric Reeser and Adam Tet couldn't get enough on it to block it. And it's now Clifton Mustangs ball. Score is now 9-8. Mustangs only down by 1. Genshi back to serve. Lines went over. Ziggy with a bump. A little bit too hard, and the ball carries over. Genshi another set. Hard hit. Ziggy there with the bump. Tet lightly tapping over. Barron there for the save. Seats hits it up. Third hit carries over. Ziggy with a nice set. Tet with another set. Reeser, hard spike, and it's in. Drops in, and it goes back to the Wayne Hills ball. Nice exchange there between the two teams, showing Nice resilience, trying to keep the ball in there as long as possible. And Eric Rieser just sends it home. Remiz back to serve. Remiz lift one up. Seats there to bump it. Genchi over to Haverleek. Haverleek hits it to Seat. Ziggy hard spike, carries in and just flies out of bounds. Just goes out. And it goes back again to the Mustangs ball.
So right now the teams are exchanging serves once again. No one could really get a point. So it's Sadeo serving for the Mustangs. Tet's going to set it to Sawicki. And Sawicki, another spike for the Patriots.
Sawicki delivering a hard spike, knocking Sadeo off onto his heels. Jay just, know he's doing a great job out there, trying to motivate his team to just close off this second game here and hopefully the third. Tet lines one over, Seats there for the bump. Genshi with the set. Haverleek light tap, and it just carries out of bounds. Wayne Hill's defense almost lucky on that, not ready for that light tap. And Haverleek just not happy with himself on that. Tet lifts one over, and it carries out of bounds. Just got a little bit too much air under it. The score is 10-8 Wayne Hill's Mustangs possession.
So that one sailed a little bit too far for the Patriots. And Haverleek not having as good of a game as he had when these teams met 2 weeks ago. And Sawicki bumps it over to Tet. Tet to Google. Haverleek's going to set it to Genchi. And Tanny's just got to hit it over. Wayne Hill's out of position. Not sure what the call was. Guess it hit the Rieser hit it illegally. So the score's now 10-9 Patriots. Haverleek serving. Gorin, the bump to Tet. Tet over to Sawicki. And it gets blocked at the net, but it goes out of bounds. So Wayne Hill's take over once again. This time Rieser will serve for the Patriots.
For our fans watching, that is called a tool when the offensive player strikes it and is blocked and falls either out of bounds or onto the opposing side, scoring a point. Hard shot there by the Mustangs. Eric Rieser couldn't get his hands up in time and takes it off the chest and chin. And it goes back over to the Mustangs' possession. And it seems to be, switch in. Seats for Cocken. Cocken hits it over. Rieser up to Tet. Tet lining up Ziggy. Ziggy is blocked. Rieser there. Tet another bump. Ziggy just hitting it over for the third one. Sadeo hits it up. Hard shot. Tet couldn't get it, and it. Nice recovery by Sawicki. Google light tap. Defense was there to block it. Google just had to get it over, but the defense knew it and sends it home, ties the game at 10.
Google's playing very poorly right now in these first 2 games. He's going to have to step it up for the Patriots. So score's now tied at 10. Sawicki going for the spike. And Haverleek cannot bump it over, so the Patriots will take over. Right now, the loss of Golub has been costly for the Patriots. Sawicki sends it over. And Warzel and Ziggy combine on the spike on the play, so Wayne Hills takes the lead, 11-10.
Jay sends it over for the third straight time. Hard spike, Tanny there, over the hands of Google and Warzel, getting the point. Score's now 11-10 Wayne Hills. Mustangs possession. Back is Matt Seats to serve for the Mustangs. Seats sends it over. Ziggy there for the bump. Tet lining up. Ziggy again. Ziggy hard spike off the hands and out of bounds. Back over to Wayne Hills ball. Wayne Hills trying to get on a good scoring run and close off game 2 to push this series into game 3.
Google sends it over. Seats over to Genchi. Haverleek. Sawicki, nice save. Rieser, it's going to hit it over. Haverleek over to Cocken. To Danny. It's blocked but it lands out of bounds, so the Mustangs will take over once again. I think Seats is going to serve, or they'll give it to Tanny. So scores 11-10 Patriots, with Tanny serving for the Mustangs. Tanny hits it well out, so another unforced error for the Mustangs. Gorin's going to serve for the Patriots. Bumped by Seats. Haverliak going for the spike. Sawicki hits it high in there. Reeser sets it to Sawicki. And Sawicki took a little bit off it on the play. And Andrew Egan was not ready for it. Too high in the air. It was coming down by the time the ball got to him. And the Patriots have taken a 12-10 lead. So Gorin sends it over to Seats. Egan going for the spike. And they're going to call an illegal hit right there by Jay Sawicki. So Genchi will serve for the Mustangs. Genchi sends it over. Gorin bumps it over to Tet. To Sawicki. Another hard spike by Sawicki. Deflected at the net by Egan, but no match as Jay Sawicki's come alive in the second game.
I have to agree with you on that. Sawicki has come alive in the second game, but he also, remember, needs this energy in the game 3 if this game postpones. And a timeout is called by the Mustangs. The Mustangs coach coming over to the official to discuss a problem he's having as Ziggy Gorin and Jay Sawicki make their runs over to the water fountain on the left. Hughes just discussing with his team. Coach is now debating the call. I think they're asking if Jay's feet were both in and not over the line on that last spike. But the call stands and the timeout is over. Both teams break out to their positions. Ramiz to serve for the Wayne Hills Patriots. Ball carries over. Bump up by Seats. Again. Oh, hard tap. And it hit the net. Wayne Hills hit the net. And it will go back over. And Jay Sawicki again arguing with the officials. It seems that every player on both teams, even the fans, are arguing with these officials today.
Similar to the first game in the arguing department. Sawicki, no doubt about that one. So Wayne Hills take over once again with a 12-10 lead. It's time Ted will serve for the Patriots. Google will come in for Weinberg. Tet sends it over. Cocken over to Haverliak. Google, nice play. Reeser going for it. Reeser with a tip, but they're going to call it an illegal tip, and the Mustangs will take over. Haverliak's going to serve for the Mustangs. Haverliak serves to Gorin. Tet back to Sawicki. Sawicki fires it in off the net. Haverliak, nice save right there to get it over. Tet to Sawicki. Sawicki tips it over, and Sawicki having a huge second game for the Patriots.
But that's what big players have to do. I know I said this before in the last game, but big players have to make big plays in big games. Eric Reeser now to serve for the Wayne Hills Patriots. The score is 12-10 Wayne Hills. Hard spike. Tet couldn't get his hands up fast enough. Sends one into the stands. And the possession transfers again to the Mustangs. Both teams have gone 2 or 3 possessions each now without a score. Cocken lines one up. Reeser there for the bump. Tet lifting it up. Sawicki, hard spike, and it is in. Possession goes back to Wayne Hills. Wayne Hills trying to score 3 more points and put this game away.
So Sawicki has just taken over in this third game, and second game, my mistake. He's become the best player for the Patriots this game. Sawicki over to Cocken. And Gorin blocks it at the net, and it lands on Clifton's side, so another point for the Patriots.
Ziggy pumping himself up with that. knowing his team needed that as they scored their 13th point. Swicki lined it over. Sadeo with a nice bump. Hitting it up, hard spike, and it carries out of bounds. Wayne Hills scoring their 14th point. Will now be in a game point here with Jay Swicki to serve. Jay, their top server in today's matchup. Drilling one over. Nice bump by Haverly. Tanny just taps it. Ziggy couldn't get a legal hit. And again, Ziggy arguing with the officials. Game point denied by the Mustangs defense. Back is Seats to serve. Seats sending one over. Nice exchange, and Swicki just tapping over, throwing a nice head fake. Hits over. Tet with a nice set. Ziggy hard spike, goes over and then back under. Wayne Hills ball. Wayne Hills again now threatening to take game 2 here. Ziggy going back to serve.
So Wayne Hills looking for game point once again. Coach Eustace telling Google to wake up and serve. Haverliak over to Kocken. Genchi and Google and Swicki run into each other on the play. So once again, miscommunication by the Patriots proves to be costly as the Mustangs fight off another game point. And Tet might have jammed his fingers on the play.
I was just about to say that, Mike. Tet shaking his hand fast, looking to jam his fingers now to get a good set on that. And Tanny back. Score is now 14-11 Wayne Hills. Tanny lifts one over. Jay there for the bump. Tet, good set that time. Ziggy, hard spike. Seats couldn't get under to dig it out. Transfers over back to Wayne Hills. Ziggy now back to serve, trying to put the game away. And send his team into game 3. Ziggy drying off the ball in his shirt. Taps one over. Seats there. Hard spike. Ziggy there with the bump. Oh, Tet with a nice save. Denshi hitting it over. Hard spike. Worzel can't block it. And sends one out of bounds. And the ball goes back to the Clifton Mustangs.
So Wayne Hills can't put Clifton away. And Genshi will serve for the Mustangs. Genshi over to Swicki. Tet gonna set it for Reeser. Reeser gets blocked at the net by Andrew Egan. And Reeser not playing a good second game. Score is now 14-12 Patriots. And timeout's been called by Coach Eustace. Eustace trying to tell his team that they're not out of it. They still need one more point to win the game. Telling them what they need to do to get this final point. While on the other side, Coach Doctor is telling his troops, you're not out of it, only 2 points away. Stay alive, and 4 more points and they can win this match. So the teams break from their respective huddles. And Genshi will serve for the Mustangs. Swicki over to Tet. Back to Reeser. Reeser tips it over. And Swicki fires it in, and then the Patriots will take over. So Swicki with another outstanding play for the Patriots.
A nice save by the Mustangs defense there. Sending the ball back over, but Swicki delivered a hard shot to the back right corner. And Ramiz is now back to serve for game point again for the 3rd straight time. Shot goes over. Nice bump by Seats. Hard spike. Jay tips it out. Ziggy there. Line up. Reeser taps over, and it is blocked by the defense. Egan with another huge block. And it's now, again, the Mustangs' ball. Mustangs, for the 3rd straight time, have denied Wayne Hills game point.
This reminds me of game 3 in the first matchup between these two teams. Clifton had numerous chances to put away Wayne Hills, but could not do it until eventually they won 17-15 before almost blowing the game. And Wayne Hills will have another chance to win this game. Scillieri fires it home.
Scillieri getting all the big spikes, but not when the team needs. I mean, they need a huge spike right here, or a very nice play to get the game point and send the team into game 3. Ted back to serve. Seats digs it out. Good bump. Hard spike and his block and drops in. Game 2 taken by the Patriots. The teams will switch sides again. And we go to game 3 like in the previous matchup.
So first 2 games have been extremely close by both teams playing outstanding volleyball. Second game, Jamie Scillieri just took control for the Patriots, and Ziggy Gorin came alive in the final couple of points to force this game 3. So they'll flip a coin to see where they will decide to start today's 3rd game. So Wayne Hills is going to serve, but they'll switch sides as we enter this 3rd game. Now, as I was talking about before, the NBA playoffs are in the conference finals right now, and our local boys, the New Jersey Nets, have made it somewhere where they haven't been ever in franchise history, led by their messiah, Jason Kidd. Dan, do you ever get to watch any Nets games?
I watch them on TV when there's no other sports on, but I'm not a big basketball fan. I stick to football and baseball. So I'm watching the Yankees. You know, they're in the first place race with Boston, getting a big win last night. So Mike, I believe you're a Mets fan. I know we've had this discussion before, but can you explain to me why you're a Mets fan?
Why not, Dan?
Because the Mets have been known to have just terrible streaks. I mean, yeah, they're in the first place race in the National League, but they have been known to just gone into terrible slumps, stricken by injuries here and there. So we'll see what happens later on when we get closer to the All-Star game in the playoffs.
Well, right now the problem for the Mets has been their atrocious hitting. In the offseason, Steve Phillips made numerous trades and acquisitions to pick up players that are gonna help their offense. Their pitching was supposed to be, you know, the aspect of the team that was supposed to be a little weak, but their pitching's been outstanding for the Mets. I think they're 2nd place in team ERA at about 3.00 exactly. Just outstanding pitching for the Mets so far, keeping them in the first place race, as Dan said earlier. But the hitting needs to come alive in order for the Mets to compete for the World Series. Now the Yankees, on the other hand, are hitting on all cylinders, sweeping the Twins this weekend. And last night they did beat the Blue Jays, as Dan said. So Dan, you still think the Yankees are going to win the World Series?
Well, they had a little rough streak there a few weeks back, but I believe the pitching staff comes around, and also with the batting staying hot that they are, led by first baseman Jason Giambi and center fielder Bernie Williams, then yeah, they have a good shot of making it back to the World Series and hopefully winning their 27th World Series win.
So, going back to basketball, as I've gone to several Nets games this season. I've gone to every game won so far these first 3 rounds. The Nets winning 2 out of 3 of them. Last night the Nets had a tough loss, missed a couple of open shots, but I believe that Jason Kidd, who should have been the MVP of the NBA this season, will lead them into the NBA Finals, probably against the Los Angeles Lakers, and we'll see what happens from there. But the Nets, with an absolutely extraordinary season, turning their team around from 26-52 last year to 52-26 this year. An outstanding season for the New Jersey Nets, and congratulations to them. So huge 3rd game right now. Either Clifton's going to set the record for most wins ever in New Jersey with 32, or they're just going to have to settle for a tie. Patriots have something to prove after losing that heartbreaker 2 weeks ago. So Seats gets him off on the right foot as the Mustangs will take over on serve. The score 0-0. Haverliak to Gorin. Tet sets it up for Sawicki. Sawicki fires it well long.
Jay Sawicki putting a little bit too much strength there. Didn't get enough top of the ball, and it sends out. Haverliak, the jump serve. Oh, and the little dispute between Tet and two guys of the Mustangs. I believe it was Seats and Rob Tanny. And the ball drops in and goes back over to the Wayne Hills. Haverliak hits it up. Hard spike by Tanny. Tanny again showing why he's the top offensive player for this Mustang team. Just driving that one past the defense and off the forearm of Adam Tet. Back to service Cochran. Cochran sends one over. Ziggy with the bump. Tet, very nice set to Sawicki. Sawicki lines one over. Haverliak there. Line up Tanny. Tanny light tap, but Tet was there. Google. Sawicki just tapping over with his wrist. Blocked. Oh, but recovers. Jay, very nice offensive drive here. Hard drive, and it goes out of bounds. Very nice exchange here. Back and forth. Great plays on both sides. Good blocks, good recoveries. And Wayne Hills ends up with the ball.
So Riesel will serve for the Patriots. Stay out over to Cocken. To Genchi. Sawicki with a nice save. Not sure what the call is. I believe it's called an illegal hit on Eric Grieser. So Seats will serve for the Mustangs. Coach Eustace telling the troops it's all about the feet. Gorin sets it to Tet. Back to Sawicki. And Sawicki fires it in. And they're going to call it out of bounds. So Mustangs will take a 2-0 lead with Seats serving for the Mustangs.
Seats sends it over. Reeser there. Tet bumps it up. Sawicki light tap, put a little bit too much hook into it and sends it into the same side of his own net. Scores now 3-0 Mustangs. They're just on a very solid run here. Lines one over. Ziggy there for the bump. Ziggy light tapping it over. Tanny line drive. Oh, and Tet just holds his hand up and the ball carries over with so much power. Tet sets it up. Jay Sawicki, hard spike. Dug out by Cochran, but it sends flying into the stands. And it's now Wayne Hill's ball. Jay Sawicki back to serve, hoping to score some points and close down this 3-point gap.
So with Wayne Hills down 3-0, Sawicki must find a way to hit it in. And a conventional serve right there from Sawicki. Cocken over to Genchi. Sawicki is going to set it to Tet. Over to Gorin. It's tipped at the net. Nice save right there. But Egan couldn't quite hit it over, so the Patriots will score the first point of the game. Score is now 3-1. Sawicki will continue to serve. Sawicki this time jumping on the play. Wonderful serve right there from Sawicki. Tanny spikes it over. Blocked at the net by Sawicki, by Ziggy, I mean. Tet over to Gorin. Blocked at the net. And the Mustangs will take over. Gorin, believing the official blew the call on the play. Thought he hit the net illegally. So Dave Barron's going to serve for the Mustangs, up 3-1. Barron over to Sawicki. Tet to Gorin. Gorin tries to tip it over. Egan was ready for it though. Haverliak spikes it. And Gorin couldn't quite get there. So the Mustangs will take a 4-1 lead. And Dave Barron will continue to serve.
Barron sends one over. Sawicki there to dig it out. Ziggy light tap, and it just falls over. Double hit, or illegal hit, I'm sorry. And it transfers over back to the Wayne Hills. Chris Google back to serve. Google now going to take a breather as freshman Weinberg comes in. Weinberg lifts one over. Nice hit by Seats. Seats to Cocken. Cocken. Line drive. Hard drive by Genshi. And the Mustangs team is fired up. Genshi sends it over. Ziggy, Swicky there. Sorry, I get those two mixed up. Eric Reed's a little unsure of himself, bumps it over. Tipped, and it just carries over the defense. And the Mustangs just increasing their lead now, 5-1. The Patriots here have to find something to slow down the Mustangs' momentum and score some points to get back into this game.
So the Patriots must do something before this third and final game gets out of hand. Tet over to Gorin, and Gorin fires it in for the Patriots. So Gorin's going to serve for the Patriots. Need to score some points right now. Barron, nice dig. And no one was there to hit the ball for the Patriots. Wayne Hills with another costly error.
As we said it before, miscommunication will kill him. All 6 Wayne Hills Patriots just turn and look at each other and watch the ball just drop in. Sadeo hitting it over. Reason there for the save. Swicky hitting it over, and it flies out of bounds on the right side. Patriots not happy as the Mustangs scored their 6th point, and Coach Eustace has to call a timeout to calm his team out.
So Eustace yelling at Eric Reeser, telling him to become more of an all-around player. Reeser just came alive in the last matchup in that third game. Maybe he'll do the same here, come back after a couple of tough plays. With Wayne Hills down 6-1, they need something. They need something quick before the Mustangs can take a huge lead. So Eric Reeser's dad trying to pump up the team. So Sadeo will serve for the Mustangs. Reeser over to Tet, back to Reeser. Reeser tips it over, and it hits the cord. I'm not sure, the antenna it's called.
I think that's an out of bounds marker to help the officials see where the ball carries over the net. And it hits the marker, and seems to be a slight confusion here. Both teams looking back and forth, but the officials are discussing. And it will be Mustangs ball again at the end of the discussion. Sadeo hitting it over. Ziggy there with the bump. Tet over to Swicky. Swicky line drive. Barron there with the bump. Just gets it over. Over the hands of Warzel and Reeser. Mustangs increasing their lead 8-1. They're on a 7-0 run here.
So the Mustangs starting to blow out the Patriots. Gorin. Tet over to Reeser. It's blocked at the net. Saved by Gorin. It's hit Weinberg. Nice save right there. Over to Reeser. Reeser taps it to Barron. Genshi. And it's tipped over the hands of Adam Tet. So another point for the Mustangs. The score is now 9-1 Mustangs. Stay out over to Reeser. Tet over to Sawicki. And Sawicki fires it in, and Wayne Hills take over. So let's see if Wayne Hills can score some consecutive points, which is much needed right now.
Ramiz checking in for freshman Nick Warzel. Ramiz lines one over. Bumped up by Sadeo. Hit by Genchi. Hard, quick spike, but blocked by the Wayne Hills Patriots. Good recovery. Jay, hard hit, past the defense, and it drops in for Wayne Hills' second point of the game. Ramirez hits it over to Seats, bumps up to Genchi. Genchi over to Haverliak. Bump by Ramirez over to Tet. Tet back to Reeser. Haverliak hits it up. Haverliak spikes down, but is blocked. Ball is recovered, though, by the Mustangs. Blocked again by Jay Sawicki, and it drops in. Jay showing two great defensive plays.
So Jay Sawicki having an outstanding match right now for the Patriots, keeping them in this game single-handedly. Ramirez serves it over to Sadeo. Haverliak going for the spike, and it lands on the line, and the Mustangs will take over. So Wayne Hills did score 2 points in a row before giving it up to the Mustangs. Scores now 9-3 Clifton. Haverliak serving it to Sawicki. Tet sets it to Sawicki. Sawicki fires it in. Nice save there from Sidia. It's hit over, and once again, miscommunication by the Patriots. And if they go on to lose this match, that's going to be the reason. Too many miscommunication plays for the Patriots.
Haverliak, another jump set over to Sawicki. Sawicki to Tet. Tet back to Sawicki. Block, but Sawicki recovers the block. Tet over to Reeser. Drops in past the back defenders. And now go back to Wayne Hills' ball. Scores now 10-3 Mustangs. Wayne Hills trying to close this huge gap set earlier on in the game. Google now checking back in. Tet lines it over. Bump by Sadeo. Tanny blocked by Google. Jay Sawicki hard hit. Tips off the fingers of the defenders. Jay another block. His third straight defensive block. Great skills shown by Jay Sawicki as Wayne Hills scores their fourth point of the game.
So Jay Sawicki once again keeping the Patriots in the game. Let's see if Reeser or Goring can make some big plays here for the Patriots. Sawicki, a legal hit on the play. Sawicki has gone and called for that several times in today's matchup. So Calkins going to serve for the Mustangs. Wayne Hills cannot allow the Mustangs to score any more points right now. Calkins over to Gorin. Pet sets it up to Sawicki. Sawicki fires it in, and the Mustangs have no answer for that one. So Reeser's going to serve for the Patriots. Oh, Reeser hits it just out. Reeser having a tough third game right now.
Wayne Hills now has to stop worrying about trying for the ace and start just getting the ball in bounds. That was their second or third time they've hit it out of bounds on the serve. Sawicki with a nice bump. Tet getting under it. Ziggy, hard shot. Blocked by Egan, but it goes out of bounds. A tool, as I said earlier. Wayne Hills gets possession again.
If Sawicki can get his serve down, Mustangs might have a tough time turning it. Sawicki starting off with the conventional serve. Tanny hits it over. Gorin couldn't quite block it on the play, and the Mustangs will take over again.
Tanny answering back to Sawicki's shot. Answering back to Sawicki's shot there. Drilling it into Google and Ziggy. And the ball drops in. It goes back to Mustangs' ball. Ziggy there for the bump. Tet lifting up to Ziggy. Ziggy hard spike. Blocked! Blocked by Genchi and Egan. Mustangs scored their 11th point, and the score is now 11-4.
So Wayne Hills on its last legs right now. Needs to find something to stay alive. Nice save there by Warzel. Calkin over to Haverliak. Nice block again by Warzel, and Warzel pumping up the squad. Maybe that'll do it for the Patriots. They need something right now. So Google's going to serve. They'll bring in Weinberg to serve for Google.
Weinberg, the second of two freshmen here, lifts one over. Nice bump by Seats. Just hitting over for the third time. Tet just tapping it over. Not happy, couldn't get a good set on that. Reaser with the bump. Set. Hard spike, and a nice save by the Mustangs. Seats diving, getting up to save his own catch. Trying it again. Ziggy has to tap it over. Set wasn't in full position. Warzel couldn't get his hands on it. Tet lining up Ziggy again. He's got to bump it over, and it won't carry over. 4 hits on the Patriots side. Another very costly error, and it goes back to the Mustangs' possession.
Right now, if I had to pick which team is more talented, I have to go with the Patriots, but Mustangs are just out hustling the Patriots right now, digging for every ball that looks like it's going down. They find some way to keep it in play. And eventually, the points become costly for the Patriots. So Gorin just trying to keep the Patriots in it, as he is a senior, playing one of his final games as a Patriot. Gorin, oh, he serves it into the net.
Ziggy not getting enough lift on that, sending the ball directly into the net. Shaking his head back and forth in disgust, not happy with himself right there. Sadeo now to serve. Very short, Swicky barely digs it out. Reeser jumps and hard shot. Barron with a beautiful save. And an illegal hit by Nick Warzel. And another point is scored here by the Mustangs, who only need 3 more to clinch this best-of-3 series here at the Gifford Gym in Wayne Hills High School.
So Wayne Hills looks to be out of it, but we don't know right now. They need to find something, and they haven't found that. I thought Warzel, maybe that nice save he made and eventually scored the point, could have done it for the Patriots, but it hasn't. So the Mustangs need 3 more points to win this match and go 2-0 against Wayne Hills for the season. Stay out, heading it to Reeser. Gorin hits it over to Reeser. Nice save by City Out. That's what I was talking about before. They just find some sort of way to get the ball in. Oh, that ball's going out. It's Sawicki hit it by accident. Reeser tries to tap it over. Ball game close to our section. So Ramiz will serve for the Patriots.
Ramiz back. Lofts one over. Good bump by Seats. Setting up for Sadeo. Oh, couldn't get it. Reeser taps it over, and oh, nice block by Jay Sawicki. Lined up again. Weinberg hits it to Tet. Oh my lord. Jay Sawicki, massive spike. Showing why he's not only good on defense, but he's amazing on offense.
So Sawicki having the best match for the Patriots right now. Oh, and Ramiz with another costly error. The Wayne Hills Patriots cannot have costly errors when they're down 12-5 in this final game. Just uncalled for. Haverliak hits the net. So the Mustangs are just opening the door wide open, inviting the Patriots to come in and steal this game. Pet's going to serve for the Patriots. Genchi over to Tanny, and it's blocked by Sawicki. Nice save, though, by the Mustangs. Off the ceiling, Tet to Reeser. Reeser just gets it over. Genchi hits it high in the air. Haverliak's going to try to hit it over. Tet over to Rudner. Rudner in good position for the spike. But Genchi's there. Havriliak hits it over. Tet over to Google. And Google, I'm not sure what he was doing on that play except for flopping on the ground. I know he did that.
Google looked like he wasn't ready or wasn't paying attention. Got his hand and hit it very softly to Ziggy Gorin, who also wasn't ready for it. And the ball goes back to the Mustangs. Sends it over. Rudner with the nice bump. Swicky hard spike. And it is tipped and goes over to the Wayne Hills side. Wayne Hills trying to scratch out these points to get back into this game. Scores 12-5 Mustangs. Rudner lifts one over. Bump. Set. Spike. Oh, nice recovery. Rudner again looking like he's going to finally start stepping up in this game. Sadeo with a nice bump. Nice block. Both teams exchanging beautiful, beautiful blocks and recoveries and spikes. But Rob Tenney putting the volley down with a hard spike off the hands of Google and goes out of bounds.
So Seats serving for the Mustangs. Gorin hits it and it goes flying out. Tanny saves it to Havriliak. Gorin tipped off. Another great save by the Mustangs. That's been the story of today's game. Now, one thing I said before is that the Wayne Hills Patriots seem like they're a more talented team, but the Mustangs do have a much deeper team. They bring up guys off the bench that are just as capable as the guys starting.
And also it seems that the Mustangs are playing as more of a unit than the Wayne Hills Patriots are, so showing good communication skills. Make sure everyone's diving for the ball and, you know, everyone's in their right position. Hard line shot, just carries out of bounds, and it goes back to the Wayne Hills ball.
So Sawicki's going to serve for the Patriots. Down 13-5. Needs something, desperately need to reel off about 5 consecutive points here. It's blocked. Google making the save. Tanny hits it over. And Tanny has been the spark plug for the Mustangs this game. Havriliak does not have it in today's matchup. But Tanny has more than made up for it. So Dave Barron's going to come in and serve. Rudner over to Tet, to Gorin. And Gorin fires it in, and the Wayne Hills take over again.
Wayne Hills just showing great resilience, not going down without a fight. But still, when they're on offense, though, their team just isn't playing well together, and they got to start scoring points past this tough Mustang defense. Oh, nice try by Haverleek. Sends it far out of bounds. A great diving attempt. Couldn't get a good arm on it, though, and the ball carries out. Wayne Hills scores their 6th point, and the score is now 13-6.
So Google sends it over again. Kachin. And an illegal hit. So the score is now 13-7. Patriots have now scored 2 points in a row. Kachin over to Havriliak. He sends it over. Google almost hit the ceiling. So close. Egan over to Google. To Tet. To Sawicki. And it lands well out of bounds. So that stops the Wayne Hills run.
Sawicki trying to place one in the corners. Put a little bit too much power on it. Carries out of bounds. And it goes back to the Mustangs ball. And a substitution in. Google being taken out by Weinberg. Google getting a round of applause as he goes to sit down. Genchi back to serve. Floats one over. Ziggy there for the bump. Tet lifts one high to Ziggy again. Ziggy with a light tap and it just drops in, splitting the back row with the front row. Great play by Ziggy Gorin, and the possession goes back to Wayne Hills.
So it seems like in this third game that the Patriots, some players are playing well, and then others aren't. Everyone needs to be hitting on all cylinders for the Patriots to have any chance of coming back. And Rudner sends one well along.
Rudner showing too many cylinders on that one, sending the ball out of bounds when Wayne Hills so desperately needed a point there. Sadeo getting ready to serve. There's the whistle. Line drive one's over. Rudner there for the bump. Rudner, a great play going into the stands for the bump over. Hard spike. Rudner blocks it, but it goes straight down. And we are now at game point as Mustangs are up by 7, 14-7. Google now coming back in for Weinberg. Sadeo trying to put the game away in game 3 here of best of 3 series. Each team has won 1. Sadeo now up. Floats one over. Ziggy with a nice bump. Tet setting it high. Swicky, nice spike, but blocked. And it drops in. Drops in. Nobody was there. Mustangs win. Mustangs win. As in last game, Mustangs winning game 3. Wayne Hills not happy with themselves on this second loss to the Clifton Mustang team. For Mike Rudner, I'm Dan Scillieri for the Wayne Hills TV crew. Signing off. Thanks for joining us.